actually, companies that have kind of either a self-serve or freemium model are spending below 20% of ARR in terms of sales and marketing spend. So, the numbers are there that kind of proves that product-led growth is the way, could be the way of the future. From a customer acquisition cost, the payback is lower at scale for product-led growth companies, which makes sense because their investments in products are more leverageable than traditionally investing in something expensive like hiring more sales teams or running full marketing programs. And then the other thing on the customer acquisition cost too is that across the board it's higher. In the past 5 years it's actually increased 65%.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that's because capital's table stakes now. There's just so much money out there that companies are needing to spend more and more to outmaneuver their peers.
Interesting.
So
you guys publish annually the OpenView benchmark for SaaS companies.
Yeah.
That's very relevant to clients of ours.
Yeah.
It's what, 0 to 150 million plus. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about who's part of that survey.
Yeah, so this is our third year that we've published the SaaS benchmarks report. We like to think that this was our biggest and best year yet, year 3. So we'll see what year 4 brings, but for now, but it's an annual report that we put out, and we survey SaaS companies everywhere from pre-revenue all the way through to 150 million plus ARR. So really giving us, the gamut in terms of data and kind of allowing these companies to see where they stand in comparison to their peers. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank, this year we actually had a survey sponsor in NetSuite, which was great, and we had a lot of VC partners and that's the reason we were able to survey 500 companies and get over 600 respondents this year.
Yeah,
so,
really relevant information, particularly on the sales and marketing side. What kind of metrics do you guys measure sales and marketing wise? And I know you've got a big product-led growth.
Yes,
too,
which we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, so on the sales and marketing side, and like we were talking about a little bit ago, we like to avoid being company specific so that everyone can take a look at this. But sales and marketing specifically, we surveyed things like use of sales channels, quota, spend, and customer acquisition costs. So kind of the high-level basics, but really what companies need to know in terms of their sales and marketing activities.
Cost of acquisition is like a lightning rod topic with our customers and prospects and the industry as a whole. Yeah. What are you seeing trend-wise right now in that report or even in your portfolio companies?
Yeah, so I think from the spend side of things, product-led growth companies are spending less on average than non-product-led growth companies, which makes sense. Actually, companies that have kind of either a self-serve or freemium model are spending below 20% of ARR in terms of sales and marketing spend. So the numbers are there that kind of proves that product-led growth is the way, could be the way of the future. From a customer acquisition cost, the payback is lower at scale for product-led growth companies, which makes sense because their investments in products are more leverageable than traditionally investing in something expensive like hiring more sales teams or running full marketing programs. And then the other thing on the customer acquisition cost too is that across the board it's higher. In the past 5 years it's actually increased 65%.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that's because capital's table stakes now. There's just so much money out there that companies are needing to spend more and more to outmaneuver their peers. So those are kind of the high level. I don't want to give too much away. We don't want to avoid people from going to download the report, but kind of at a high level what we're seeing in terms of the sales and marketing trends.
Interesting. And where do you think things are headed? Like you kind of indicated there with product-led growth, it's a lot less sales and marketing investment. Where do you think things are headed in the future from the metrics of that report based on what you saw? Yeah,
so we've talked a lot about product-led growth, and we're very bullish on PLG at OpenView. We really do think that this is kind of the way of the future and how companies will win. I mean, you look at just the recent IPOs like Zoom and Datadog, and those are really product-led growth companies. And so we see as these metrics, say we do this report next year, that the metrics are going to keep going down. So spend on average will be lower as more companies adopt the PLG strategy. And then sales teams are going to start looking more and more like customer success teams. And then customer acquisition costs are going to be lower across the board too. So we really think that as companies start to adopt these tactics, that it's going to be better for everyone. We're spending less, doing better. But I think the thing to note too, and if someone's watching this and thinking, oh no, we're so behind in PLG, or either we're not PLG, or what can we be doing? So 4 out of 5 respondents had said they've adopted at least one tactic in terms of PLG, like a self-serve model, but only it was less than 30% of respondents thought that product-led growth was actually instrumental to their business. So there's still a long runway for people to adopt these strategies. So you're not behind if you're watching this and thinking that. So that's kind of where we see everything kind of trending down in terms of spend and payback period, et cetera.
Yeah, that was a common theme. Actually, we were at an enterprise sales forum last night with CMOs and CROs, and they said the exact same thing, especially around customer success.
Yeah.
Like the importance has gone up by an order of magnitude.
Yeah.
Where can we find this report? If
yes.
we reference it often. Like we're
great.
We
love that.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
love that. Our partner here, John Russo. So if you it's really easy. Go to SaaSbenchmarks.com. You'll see there's a public report there, and then you can sign up to get a copy of the downloadable report. And actually, a new feature we have this year is the Data Explorer, and you can go in and almost create your own customized benchmarks report. You can comb through the data and build it based on your company type, ARR, et cetera. So you can really just see where you stack up against your peers.
It is way cool. This year, I don't know what you did on the interface there, but it is way cool.
Yeah, they did. Shout out to our team of Sean, Kyle, Ned, and Bailey. I had no part of it, so they did a great job. So it's awesome. certainly a team effort to get it out. So yeah, cool. Get on there, download it. Let us know if you have any. John knows how to find me if you have any questions. So
excellent.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Thank you so much for having me on this side of side of the camera, or this side, the reverse weekly walk. I'm usually asking the questions. So hopefully I did okay. It was a lot of pressure to